More now on that breaking news from overseas. A rare apology from Russian President Vladimir Putin over what Putin called a tragic plane crash on Christmas Day. But Putin did not take responsibility for the crash. Joining us now, former senior CIA intelligence officer and MSNBC national security contributor, Mark Polymeropoulos. Mark, we've been talking about this week. Today, the Kremlin, as you know, announcing that the president, Vladimir Putin, apologized to the presidents of Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan for the tragic plane crash. Now, he confirmed an investigation that's underway. But he, again, underlining he is not apologizing or admitting responsibility for Russia for this actual crash. What do you make of this?
Well, I think this is the best we're going to get out of Vladimir Putin. Certainly the apology to me is also an admission of guilt. And I think that, there's just a preponderance of evidence here, both open source. We saw actual videos of the crash site, which, as you see there, looks like shrapnel. Hit the skin of the aircraft. But then, of course, I would imagine my old, outfit in the intelligence community probably collected all source intelligence, communications intercepts, human intelligence, probably the Russian military talking about this what ends up being a tragedy, but they mistakenly shot down the aircraft. And I would imagine that other intelligence services in the region as well. So Putin really had no choice. And the apology is about as best as you're going to get. But, of course, it is deeply embarrassing to Putin. Not only, of course, there were Azerbaijan citizens who were killed, but Russian citizens were killed as well.
Yeah, it seems quite rare to hear him in this actually admitting and apologizing for it happening. Now, let's change gears. Hostage Aid Worldwide saying this week they have some reason here to believe, Mark, that missing American Austin Tice is alive in Syria, but were not outspoken about their evidence. They admitted here secret Syrian prisons are more numerous than previously predicted, maybe even double than what was known. How much of a setback is this revelation to searchers and the Tice family, and why would Hostage Aid Worldwide be so tight-lipped about their evidence at this moment?
So, this is a really tough one, Richard. This is a terrible tragedy. Someone who was taken over a decade ago. There's been numerous reports that he's been alive, but nothing that I've seen that's ever been confirmed after, of course, I left government. I'm not privy to any of intelligence information now. But, with the scenes coming out of Syria of, perhaps, 100,000 plus remains found in some of these prisons. I'm surprised, to be honest, with the notion that there's even a chance that he's still alive. I'm glad we're looking for him. I know there's teams in the region from the U.S. government. You always want to hope for the best. But I do worry that this might not have an outcome that's going to be a good one.
I want to go to your recent article. You advocate here for the U.S.'s involvement in Syria. What does the U.S. get out of being involved there? And is there any convincing a Trump administration to keep troops there to continue suppressing ISIS?
Well, look, the events in Syria have been stunning to watch. 5 decades of a brutal dictatorship. The Assad family, and Bashar al-Assad finally flees to Moscow, but he leaves behind a terrible reign of terror, 500,000 Syrians killed. And so there's a lot of joy in the streets of Syria now. But there's also huge challenges ahead. The group that took power, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, does have a very significant kind of Islamist bent. And so, my view is that the U.S. government has to engage with them. We cannot, just say they're like al-Qaeda and walk away. We should incentivize things like a new constitution being written. We've seen, for example, schools have reopened, and this might sound trivial, but alcohol is being served in restaurants. And so this is not the Taliban. This is not, 1979 Iran. So the U.S. should engage because we do need their help in things such as trying to find Austin Tice, or, as you noted, the counter-ISIS mission with thousands of ISIS fighters still in Syria, 2,000 U.S. Special Operations Forces there that I hope, of course, will remain with the new Trump administration coming in.
Mark Polymeropoulos, thank you.